audience doesn't remember everything you say. They remember what they see while they listen to you speak. You have to tell a better sales story. Now, what we mean by this is tell stories about real, live clients that are enjoying the benefits of your product or service. And within these examples, there are 3 formulas, and we're going to look at how they fit into your examples. And if you say, I don't have any examples, what you have to do is go to your marketing materials or your website and look at the client companies and just think, what was the story behind this reference? The first story formula that is in every business example is situation, solution, success. If I were to ask you, is there a reference I can call who has a similar problem to me? You would say, yes, call Mary, or call John, or call Mr. Smith. So for this exercise, think of one of those clients. And if Mr. Smith or Mary or Susan or John, when they first called you, if they would have said, as my friend at the Fairmont said, help, how would they articulate their situation? They might say, my team are not productive. It is costing us too much too. We are not compliant. What would be their situation? And it's important that you write down what they would have said or might have said. We're going to take that, edit it to a nub, but we want the situation, the pain, the reason that the prospect company who's hearing this would also do business with you. Then solution, that is, what did you do with your product, your service, your technology? And then the success, what is the happy ever after? How did you improve their condition? Now this is important, which leads into our second formula. The character, dialogue, and dramatic lesson learned. What's the point of the story? So your characters. We do business with flesh and blood characters, people who work within companies. So yes, your company does business with other companies, but it's really people within those companies that make decisions to do business with each other. And the dialogue comes with, it's important in your example to have the actual words of the client state the problem and then state the success. So the situation and the success comes in their words, because we're a lot more influenced by what other companies and clients think about the products and service they're going to invest in, rather than we, the salesperson, say. Now, when you're talking about people, give them a backstory. In other words, a human resource director with 23 years experience. The subtext of that is someone with 23 years experience knows how to make decisions. Or a senior vice president of marketing for. So you see, even if you're in an industry that you can't actually use the names of your clients, you can paint the picture so I can get the idea of what type of company, what type of position. What most people do when they're telling stories is to report on the dialogue, not use the dialogue. Here's an example. If you were interested in hiring me for keynoting a conference, I could say, why don't you call my longtime client, Dan Maddox? He's the executive director of the American Payroll Association, and I'm confident he would tell you that I am hired in multiple roles. I've been doing it for many years, and he's been very satisfied. That's not a story. A story might be, why don't you talk to Dan Maddox, the executive director of the American Payroll Association? Because what he would say is, At APA, we've been hiring professional speakers for 25 years. And without a doubt, Patricia Fripp is the most hassle-free, versatile, and value-driven professional speaker we've ever hired. In fact, because of her versatility, we can use her in multiple roles. She keynotes our conferences. She delivers sales presentation skills training to our board of directors who doesn't think of themselves as salespeople. She coaches the incoming president and directors. She coaches the man and woman of the year. Now, can you see what we are doing is actually giving what Dan would say rather than reporting on the conversation. And that's what's going to make your stories electrifying and memorable. Now, the lesson to be learned means it has to be obvious to the listener why you're telling the story. So you have situation, solution, success, character, dialogue, dramatic lesson learned, and the third formula that goes in every story is really a movie formula. So think of all the movies you go to see, if they're American blockbuster movies, even an art film perhaps. It starts with a day in the life of a character, and then something happens. And the result of that is, and the result of that is, and the result of that is. So really what happens is, think of your client. For example, what is the day in the life of my friend at the Fairmont? He's very comfortable. He's just talking to one person at a time and makes sales. Something happens. He suddenly has to give a presentation to a group. He gets nervous. As a result of that is, he calls Patricia Fripp great sales trainer and speech coach. And the result of that is, she helped him write a very simple formula that can be repeated over and over again. Now look at your clients. If you were going to give a backstory of the client, you might say, this manufacturing company in Cleveland, with this many employees, they were going along wonderfully well. And then suddenly their number one competitor introduced a product, and overnight they lost 30% of their market share. As a result of that was, they called in your company, and this is what you did. And the result of that is, and the result of that is, and now they've not only got back their market share, they are now the industry leader. Those are the three simple formulas. So one, what you're going to do is look at your list of references. Look at the people that you're now giving as references. Look at your website, look at your marketing materials. In fact, you might want to just stop this DVD and discuss it if you're watching this as a team.